What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and welcome back to another episode of the Retro Rebuilds. And by your guys' request, this was the most popular team you wanted to see, and that was the Atlanta Falcons, because they have a certain quarterback in their prime, Mr. Michael Vick, who's entering his second year as a pro, already coming in as one of the most electrifying college players of all time, and already started to light up the league. 1 year, he's up to a 93 overall. Now, the team overall, it's going to be an interesting rebuild. There is a lot of work to get done. We're at 81 base with an 85 offense, 81 defense. A quick look at the rest of the roster. I'm not super familiar with some of the guys on this team. I do remember Work Done. Work Done was really, really good. He came over from the Bucks. At wide receiver, you have Brian Finneran, who I remember, I think it was Madden 25. He made the all Madden 25 team because he was the overpowered wide receiver with that 04 Michael Vick. But outside of that, there is not much at wide receiver. Not a lot helping Mr. Michael Vick, but they do have a really good tight end in Algie Crumpler. He's an 82 overall with a star dev trade. He's also 1 year in the league, so hopefully, the plan is that Crumpler and Michael Vick will grow and develop together. Offensive line, we got Bob Whitfield here, 90 overall tackle. Some young, decent offensive lineman, Roberto Garza, who I think was most prominently known for his time with the Chicago Bears, but we're going to try to hold on to it. But the offensive line is optimistic. There's straight up a guy named Todd Weiner. That's funny as hell. So O-line's not bad. On the defense, we got Patrick Kearney here, 2690 overall. I think he just has a quick dev, but he should be a long-term option. It's a 5-year rebuild now, so yeah, that's pretty good. We got at linebacker, like I said, Keith Brooking, another big player. That's pretty much, if you ask me, name everyone you can know on the 2003 Falcons. It'd be Algie Crumpler, Michael Vick, Work Done, Keith Brooking, Patrick Kearney. That's probably it. So outside of that, that's pretty much the team. We have a lot of work that needs to get done here in the secondary. There's no real great corners, no real good safeties. Special teams aren't bad. We got Jay Feely and really old punter. So we got our work cut out for us, but everything is predicated around Michael Vick. Now, we all know that for whatever reason here in Madden 19, the quarterback will not scramble in the sim, so that's already putting us at a disadvantage, but it will be very fun when we actually get to hop into the games and control Mr. Michael Vick, knowing that I didn't have to spend like $300 real to get him in Madden Ultimate Team. So we are at the end of year number 1, and we actually cracked the playoffs with a 9-7 record. I think in real life, I could easily check this. I think they went 5-11. In 2003, so that's pretty good. That's or 0203. Our team has developed. We started as an 81, now we're up to an 83. Our offense is coming along very, very nicely as we won the NFC South with a 9-7 record, just beating out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers somehow. But hey, we'll take it. Michael Vick, not bad considering that this is pretty much going to be a sim in just a general franchise mode that will rely on the arm of Michael Vick only. 4,200 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 picks is pretty good. 946 rushing yards from Work Done. We got 250, 12 touchdowns from the rookie. This was their first-round draft pick from that year, which is weird, even though they got Work Done in free agency. And TJ Duckett got 12 rushing touchdowns, and look, that is just incredibly frustrating numbers to see from Michael Vick. On a receiving standpoint, Brian Finneran, not bad. 76 catches, almost 1,000 yards, and 5 touchdowns on the season. We got 72 catches, 840 yards, 6 touchdowns from Algie Crumpler. He also made the Pro Bowl. Trevor Gaylor, not bad as well. 800 yards, 7 touchdowns. On the defensive side, we got 121 tackles, 5 TFLs, 3 sacks, 3 picks from Keith Brooking, who's one of the best middle linebackers in the league. 10.5 sacks here from Brady Smith. 8.5 sacks, 11 TFLs from Patrick Kearney. We got 3 picks from anytime. We talk about this every single time it happens, but anytime your middle linebacker leads your team in interceptions, you need to get better in the secondary. A quick look at the yearly awards. MVP went to Ricky Williams. We had nobody show up. Offensive Player of the Year went to Amon Green. Michael Vick coming in at number 7. Defensive Player of the Year, Keith Brooking coming in at number 5. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Patrick Ramsey. We had nobody. Defensive Rookie. I'm surprised. TJ Duckett was a rookie and got 12 touchdowns and didn't even show up here. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Darren Howard. And like I said, nope, we had no one. So, disappointing first season, statistically, you could say. But as a team, making the playoffs year 1, as a 9-7 squad, getting ready to take on the 12-4 Philadelphia Eagles. This is a matchup a couple years down the road. Has the infamous hit with Algie Crumpler going across the middle, getting blown up by Brian Dawkins. Every Eagle fan knows about that hit. But a couple years earlier, why not start off this bird rivalry back in this season? So let's go into the game. We'll just, because it's year 1 of the rebuild, we'll just play the moments, and we'll see how far Michael Vick can take us in this playoff run. Alrighty, Let's go. I actually kind of forget what the Eagles are on this team. And I don't actually forget, but just right off the top of my head, I saw Lito Shepard there. Felt kind of good. So we're already down 7-zip to the Philadelphia Eagles. So we need Michael Vick to do what he does best. And that is not settle for field goals. That is to consistently, push the pace. And when you get in the red zone, scramble. Get a couple rushing touchdowns. But we all know that there's no way that that's going to happen in the game. And we're struggling right now, settling for field goals. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles are making the most of their limited opportunities so far by getting three goddamn field goals. There we go. We got a touchdown, a 1-point lead as we enter the fourth quarter. Philadelphia is starting to heat up. Donovan McNabb versus Michael Vick, a big-time rivalry as we have settled for field goals. I think we have 5 field goals in the game. 4 or 5 field goals. That is just completely unacceptable against a team that's as good as the Philadelphia Eagles. You're not going to win in a matchup like that. Michael Vick, not bad. 300 passing yards on the day. We actually did pretty good stopping Donovan McNabb, who probably threw up a couple times on the field. Our run game was a little bit non-existent. But that's a little bit frustrating that our defense played that well, and we're unable to score. Like, that's so... But we have 1 touchdown and a couple field... that's annoying. But I didn't really expect us to make the playoffs in year number 1 anyways, just because we have so much that we need to do as far as like rebuilding the secondary and bringing in more weapons and skill position players around Michael Vick. But but the future is bright here for the Atlanta Falcons. Let's go to the next year of the rebuild. Into our free agent period, we're going to try and land. We have literally 1 wide receiver on the roster right now, Brian Finner. So bringing in a big type guy like Plaxico Burress, kind of, we're building this team up like we're the Carolina Panthers with getting, Kelvin Benjamin and Devin Funches. That's pretty much what we have in Finneran and Plaxico Burress, but we'll take it. We got Gerald Warren here at D-tackle, 87-25 would be the best, probably the biggest upgrade to a single position that we can Brit. We have Jamar Fletcher here, 24 corner, 81 overall with a quick dev, considering our secondary drastically needs a overhaul. That's what we need to do. And then Travis Taylor, another just depth to the wide receivers because we only have 1 on the roster. So here we are in the 03 draft, and this was not a very good draft for the Atlanta Falcons. Like, they didn't have a first-round pick, and then the second round, they got Brian Scott, a safety from Penn State. I'm not gonna lie, looking at this draft class, I do not know a single player from this draft class. So it kind of gives us free reign here to go ahead and try to make just the best potential signings that we possibly can. And right out the rip, the best player available we need anywhere in the defense, anywhere in the secondary. So let's see what we got. Oh, there we go. Home run. First, there we go. We'll take Peanut Tillman. Charles Tillman. First round, 77 quick. No looking back. Receivers, we got Plaxico Burress. We got Taylor here. We did not get anyone else. We didn't get the D-tackle. We didn't get the corner. So we had to go heavy in the draft to get where we were missing in free agency. So as you saw in the first round, we got Peanut Tillman. 77 quick dev overall corner. We all know what he did with the Chicago Bears, but now he's a member of the Atlanta Falcons. We get Victor Hobson here, 76 outside linebacker from Michigan. I'm not super familiar with his game, but he is statistically pretty nice. We got Dan Klecko from Temple at D-tackle, 73 quick. Getting the other pairing of the Louisiana Lafayette corners. We got Ike Taylor, most known for his weird hats that he wore on NFL Network as a comment, but he also had some good productive years for the Pittsburgh Steelers. In the 5th round here, we got Jeremiah Bell, 76 quick dev safety. I'm not gonna lie, I think of him, I only think of like when he played for the Miami Dolphins, but he had a pretty nice career. We got Ben Johnson, just a tackle, and Kevin Walter, who I remember as the white wide receiver on the Houston Texans for a long time, at wide out there. So pretty much went all in on the defensive side and got some really, really good looking prospects, especially Tillman and Jeremiah Bell late. That's great value in the 5th round. So hopefully we can continue to making the playoffs with Michael Vick and the Atlanta Falcons a routine for the rest of this rebuild. All right, as we get into year number 2 of our rebuild, our team's pretty good. We're better than where we started. 84 overall with a 91 offense and a 95 Michael Vick and an 81 defense that is rebuilding. But the offensive line is pretty damn good. No real big name additions from that standpoint, but we did bring in 90 overall wide receiver Plaxico Burress. So that is, a huge get for our offense, even though we still are kind of lacking that deep threat speed element. We'll hopefully be able to address that in the upcoming offseason, but Michael Vick and Warwick Dunn. And then you look at the defensive side, we got a couple new faces starting. We got Hobson, Jeremiah Bell, we got Peanut Tillman, and Ike Taylor just kind of taking over the secondary here as our defense, which I felt helped us in that playoff game against the Philadelphia Eagles. It was the offense that let us down. I'm feeling pretty good that we'll be competitive once again here in the NFC South and hopefully can make another playoff run. And at the end of year number 2, not our best season that we were able to put forth. 8-8, middle of the pack. The Saints were very, very good. We were one of those 2 losses, but this was always going to be a tough year. Plus a little bit of a transitioning period. Our team was an 84. Now we're only up to an 87, a 95 offense, 85 defense. And we have a nice amount of cap space as we enter free agency to kind of fill out this team a little bit. I mean, looking at it, we're probably going to need a replacement for Whitfield. He's 33. So that means new tackles. Tackles are probably going to be a top priority. Bring in some speed at wide receiver. And on the defense, we have young players, but, the interior, that defensive line and defensive end, pretty much everyone that's not Kearney could look at getting an upgrade and maybe another corner or something like that. But we're getting there. We are getting there. We still got 2 more years of the rebuild. And Michael Vick went off. 4,100 passing yards, 36 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. He's one of the most electrifying players and now productive players in the league, only 3 years in. Running back, we got over 1,000 yards, 4 Warwick Dunn, and 7 touchdowns. TJ Duckett. That's a nice little tandem that we have there. The receiving front, we got 86 catches, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns from Plaxico Burst, which is great because we paid him a lot of money in free agency to come. Algie Crumpler, one of the best tight ends in the league, 76 catches, 800 yards, 10 touchdowns. Finneran was nice. Travis Taylor was productive. And Warwick Dunn did a lot of production out of the backfield. Defensively, Keith Brooking, 120 tackles, 7 TFLs, and 3 picks. Matt Stewart also had a pretty good year, 116 tackles, 11 TFLs, and 2 interceptions. On the sacks front, we got 19 TFLs, 8 sacks from Patrick Kearney. That's a really good year. Brady Smith also had a pretty solid season. Keith Brooking, yet again, a middle linebacker, leads our team in interceptions. So maybe we'll just take the patient approach here with Charles Tillman and Ike Taylor. Yearly awards MVP went to Aaron Brooks of the New Orleans Saints. Okay, kind of funny. Michael Vick coming in at number 9. In the NFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Kerry Collins, with Michael Vick coming in at number 4. Defensive Player of the Year went to Cedric Hodge. Keith Brooking at number 6 for us. Fred Weary, our corner, I think he had 3 picks on the year, at number 10. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Carson Palmer, now a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. It's always funny seeing where these guys go. We had no one. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to E.J. Henderson. Wow. Okay. Don't give any love to Peanut Tillman. Fine. Whatever. It's going to motivate him more in his career. So that being said, let's go into the offseason and get ready for year 3 of the rebuild. For free agency, we don't have a whole lot of salary cap right now, so we're going to look at Ryan Young here. We'll sign him because he will probably be our starting left tackle. And we got Chris Clemens, legendary Philadelphia Eagle. Look at the gif of just Google or YouTube, Chris Clemens choke slam. It was dope. Young, versatile edge rusher that will go up and line up on the other side of Patrick Kearney. Alrighty, so looking at the 04 draft, this was definitely a better draft for the Atlanta Falcons. They had a higher pick than what we had, and they actually selected D'Angelo Hall. They got Matt Schaub in the 3rd round. That's pretty much all I know from that draft class. But unfortunately, because we were picking at 18, whereas the Falcons in real life were picking at 8, we are unable to get Mr. D'Angelo Hall, which would have still been a pretty good get for our offense. So now we are stuck. I mean, we got Robert Gallery slipping. He was regarded as a top 5 pick, which is definitely very interesting. You got Steven Jackson at running back. I mean, Warwick Dunn is hitting that, he's 28, 29. So now he's starting to regress just a little bit. Michael Jenkins actually was a pick of the Atlanta Falcons here. I think he was their 2nd round pick. Oh, no, they actually had 2 first rounds. They selected him at pick 29 in the 1st round. So there definitely is some options here. But I feel like we got to go. Who else is at running back? We got some later round running backs that could potentially. We got Michael Turner. Oh, I already know. Okay, we'll get Michael Turner because Michael Turner went to the Chargers. Then eventually went to the Falcons and had a really, really good resurgence later on in his career. So we'll just grab him now. So that being said, we're going to select Robert Gallery, who kind of ended up being a bust. I think he got picked by the Raiders, but still should be pretty all right. And he is a 79 star dev tackle. Awesome.
Time to head on home.
Said that to his son.
As soon as my fruit by the foot is done.
So here's a look at our draft recap. We had a very, very good draft. So as you would have saw, in the 1st round, we got Robert Gallery, 79 star dev tackle. and he brings up versatility. They can play tackle and or guard. Then in the second round, we got Darnell Dockett, 76, star dev D tackle from Florida State. I think he cut his chops, most notably. Do people even say that anymore? With the Arizona Cardinals, he was pretty good. He was sitting there in the second round. We thought, why not? In the third round, we reached for Michael Turner, big thick boy himself. Great athlete there at 240 pounds. He's just a tank. Fourth round, we got Sammy Parker, getting finally that speed option at wide receiver. Like in the second round, we had Devery Henderson, who, again, most people probably would remember from the Saints. He was our option for speed, but we decided to go with Darnell Dockett, and then we got someone like Sammy Parker, 94 speed here in the fourth round. Traded our fifth round pick for a future fifth. So in the sixth, we got Andy Lee, 78 star dev punter. It was pretty tough. It was between Andy Lee and Donnie Jones. Eagle fans know him, Bag of Bones Jones. But man, home run pick here on a punter. And then the seventh round, we got Jabari Greer, corner from Tennessee, who actually does, he's like the NFL panelist on the Canadian Sports Channel. He's really, really bad at his job, but hopefully he'll be pretty solid to be a depth corner on our roster. So really, really good draft to go with a pretty good offseason. So come on, let's get back into the playoffs in year 3 of the rebuild. So because of the Robert Gallery pick, we do have surplus requirement, 29.85 overall Todd Weiner. So there we go. We get a great pick, first rounder from the Saints. Saints are already regarded as one of the best teams, and clearly with a hole at right tackle, they pretty much feel like that first round pick is going to be a second round pick. So there you go. Trade within the division. I'm not worried about it biting us in the ass. So as we start year 3 of the rebuild, our team is still pretty good. 84 overall, 89 offense, 85 defense. So we're getting a little bit more balance. We are starting to see just a little bit of regression here from work done. Other than that, everyone's got better on the offense. Defensively, you know, a little bit of change of the guard here, especially in the secondary. Pretty much everyone is almost our own guy that we wanted to have in here, and no real regressions anywhere. So we're just getting better in all facets of the team as we enter into the second to last year of our rebuild, and definitely want to make another run at the playoffs. Clearly, obviously, because it's the point of the video. At the end of year number 3, again, very disappointing season. We went 6-10, last in the NFC South after I think we were like 4-1. Looking at our stats here on the year, Michael Vick, pretty good. 4,000 passing yards, 27 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. We got not great running numbers at all from Work Done or Michael Turner. Plexico Burris has been very good since we brought him in via free agency. 93 catches, 1,100 yards, almost 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns. Finneran was nice. Really well-balanced offensive attack there. Keith Brooking, an animal yet again. We got 10 sacks here, 14 TFLs from Patrick Kearney. Chris Clemens, we brought in via free agency. Really productive year as well. 10 TFLs and 8 sacks. Interceptions were definitely very disappointing with Jeremiah Bell leading the team with 2. MVP went to Ricky Williams. The NFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Donovan McNabb. We had nobody. Defensive Player of the Year went to Sean Springs. We had nobody. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Phillip Rivers. We had nobody. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Oh, my God. Jabari Gray, hey, our final round pick coming in at number 6. And Darnell Dockett at number 10. But ultimately, I mean, knowing that 8-8 won the division, the fact that we didn't even sniff winning it, is very, very frustrating. But we still have one more year, one more offseason to try to make a final push to winning a Super Bowl with the Atlanta Falcons. And, you know, if we make the playoffs next year, I finally get to get my hands on Mr. Michael Vick and see what kind of damage we can do. So for our final free agency, no point having any salary cap remaining. So we're looking at upgrading 2 spots on the defense. First up, we got Sean Barber, who is a 9-point upgrade at left outside linebacker. And then at corner, bringing in Lito Shepard, great Philadelphia Eagle. 96 overall would come in and complement Mr. Peanut Tillman and Middlebrooks in our secondary. So now we are here in the 05 draft. We actually have a very, very good pick. Unfortunately, pretty much the inverse. The Atlanta Falcons in real life held the 27th pick. We currently held the 6th overall pick. In the first round, the Atlanta Falcons got a wide receiver out of UAB named Roddy White. You know, I feel like we're just at polar opposite sides of the spectrum here in regards to what player we should be getting. I don't think I want to, you know, I look for you guys' feedback. You didn't say you always want me to get the exact player that they would have, even if it was a good guy. I just feel like Roddy White going at pick 27, it'd be a little ridiculous selecting him here at pick number 6. But looking at our first round grades here, who was a top 5 pick? Who's a guy that we absolutely could live with selecting in the first round? I mean, you got Aaron Rodgers, but we don't really need Aaron Rodgers. Not a lot of like big names, to be completely honest with you. Like a lot of these guys, like, if we needed a running back, that'd be fine, but we don't really need a running back because we invested a fairly high pick last year. So I guess because I always like to keep within one round, is there someone that was selected in the second round here that was like an absolute stud, one of the best players from the class that could absolutely come in? You got Vincent Jackson there at wide receiver. I mean, this is just not a great draft class, to be completely honest with you. I mean, there's some quarterbacks, obviously, at the top end. Lofa Tupu was pretty nice. But I'm not seeing, like, a guy that's an absolute game breaker for us. I mean, Logan Mankins was good for the Patriots for quite some time. But our offensive line's the strength of our team. So, you know what? In all honesty, Roddy White's probably the best player available that's not a quarterback. So we'll do that. We'll select Roddy White here in the first round. 77 star dev wide receiver. Welcome back, you dirty bird, you. So for our final draft class, we actually kept it kind of realistic to what the Falcons did, and it worked out fairly well with our first two picks. So we got Roddy White here in the first round, 77 star. Then we got another pretty long time, well-known Atlanta Falcon in Jonathan Babineau in the second round, 77 quick dev D tackle from Alabama. Then we just pretty much filled out where we needed to. I'm not going to lie, I simmed the draft because after round 3, I had no idea, but I kind of made my board. We got two fullbacks. Sure, why not? And John Kuhn and Leonard Weaver. I guess because I put both those guys on my short list and decided to draft both of them. But no one below 70 overall, so that's pretty good. So outside of drafting two fullbacks, even though they are two really, really good players, 78 and 75 overall, respectively 75 quick and 78 star. Solid draft, and we're going full steams ahead here for year 4. I'm so used to saying year 5 for the realistic rebuilds, but only year 4 for right now. And actually, and I might as well put this in right now, that the 06 draft, the draft that we would hypothetically do next, should be finished next week by the time you guys see the next episode of the Retro Rebuilds. But that being said, we're now into the 4th and final year. 4th year or bust, Super Bowl or bust. Let's get it. Falcons rebuilding. We are our strongest team to date. 88 overall offense. 88 overall team, 89 overall offense, 93 overall defense. So while our defense is, from a rating standpoint, the bread and butter of this team, you see Kearney, 94, Peanut Tillman's an 86, Lito Shepard, we brought in via free agency, a 96, Keith Brookings holding on his rating. We just got a very well-rounded defense, and you throw in the rookie Babineau there. And you might think, oh, well, geez, who's going to win the offense? Oh, yeah, you just can't forget we got 99 overall Michael Vick. Michael Vick in his absolute prime. So I'm expecting, probably around 11, 12 wins this season and an opportunity to try and win a Super Bowl for the Atlanta Falcons. Finally. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen, sooner than later. But I didn't think it would be the third retro rebuild where we had a godly team just be terrible in the sim. We are here at the end of the year. We're 6-9. We still have one game left to play because there's no way I'm not getting some gameplay with Michael Vick. But it looks like in the final year of the rebuild, an utter failure. We are a 92 overall team with a 93 offense, 97 defense. We got Michael Vick, 99. Plaxico Burress is a 92. We got a young Roddy White there. Offensive line, we had a couple 90s. Roberto Garza, McClure, Algie Crumpler's a 93. On the defensive side, we got Kearney, who's a 95. Lito Shepard, who's a 97. Peanut Tillman and Jeremiah Bell, two players that we have drafted, are very close to being in the 90s. Keith Brookings, a 94. I mean, this is a really, really, really good team. Yet we're gonna finish below 500. Yeah, frustrating to say the least. Hey, we won the Super Bowl in the last rebuild with the Colts, so I guess we were due for a down year. But I just don't feel like the sim has given Michael Vick any credit. So that being said, we will play the Week 17 season finale just to see how overpowered this Mr. Michael Vick is, and hopefully, maybe, just maybe, set a couple records in this game. Let's get into it. Oh, let's go, Vick. Let's go, Mike Vick. Big time pass. First completion of the game to Plaxico Burress. 26 yards, and we're in the red zone. 3rd and goal. We're now on the 3-yard line. I like Roddy White's matchup there in the slot. And you can't ignore just the gigantic size that we have in the red zone. So let's go. Pretty much every one of our wide receivers is good in the red zone. But we'll scramble here with Mr. Michael Vick, who wants it to throw on the run. Oh, even though he has 99 throw on the run, he throws that into the first row. Not great. 4th and goal. I kind of wish at this point in time we could just run like a C4 special with Michael Vick. But we're going to go for it. I mean, the playoffs are already gone, so this is just more so, what can we do? What can we really do with Michael Vick? So go for it. 4th and goal on the 3. Oh my God, he runs into his offensive lineman, and just the wonky QB, running mechanics just fall flat. There's nowhere near the level that they were back in 04. Let's go. Big time reception there. Keep the drive going. No huddle, no huddle. Everyone's kind of tired. Man, that's another thing I noticed in this game. Just like no matter what you put your stamina sliders on, like your best guys are always just gassed all the time. Like right now, moving Michael Vick, he gets like exhausted after like one snap, but he's wide open there as we hit Algie Crumpler for the opening touchdown of the game. Lethal combination. Probably Michael Vick's #1 target, I would like to think. Mr. Algie Crumpler. Oh, let's go. Let's get a little bit of that 04 cheese. Let's go. Deflection. Brian Finneran throws up the X, baby. We all know he's the hardest guy in the locker room. Let's go. First and goal on the 5. We gonna get Finneran. We're gonna get Finneran. Actually, we're gonna throw it up. Michael Vick. Oh, Michael Vick would have made that 9 times out of 10 back in the day. That would be like some sort of diving touchdown. Just put a little bit more sass on it, but you gotta accept the shortcomings of Madden 19. How they just can't handle the capabilities that Michael Vick once was able to put up. Here we go. Let's see if we can actually get a nice little scrambler. There we go. He gets popped. Don't matter. Michael Vick extends the lead to 2 scores. Like, only in Madden is Michael Vick that fucking slow. First and goal on the 5. Got the ball back. Trying to put a dagger in this. Would be nice to get another rushing touchdown with Michael Vick, but we all know he has the speed of a god. Like, he literally is as fast as Brock Osweiler right now. God damn it, Madden 19 came to the little things right. He has 95 speed, 95 acceleration. What is that? That's unacceptable. There we go. The game's over. Just like that, maybe I'm glad we didn't have to do the playoffs because it made Michael Vick not feel like Michael Vick. But we still had a Michael Vick-esque performance, even though we had to try so very hard to make that happen. But it's still a 28-7 victory to end the rebuilds. Not what we wanted, but we still got to see Michael Vick go off in his final game. That's almost a near perfect QBR. 343 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions on the day. Also chipped in for 9 rushings. Sure. 76 yards, 2 touchdowns, had 2 fumbles because he had about the same speed as Brock Osweiler. Big game from Crumpler. Brian Finneran had that just insanely cheesy deflection. And that is it for the 02 Falcons rebuild. This was the most requested. I listened to the people. I'm the man of the people. So what team you want to see next week on 02 rebuilds? Now I'm going to have to get pretty precise with what the rebuilds are because there's going to be a bunch of, like, this whole venue, this avenue of rebuilds doing retro stuff is only gonna, like, it's gonna be unreal for the channel going into, like, the off season, the down period till Madden 20, because the same guy, like the project, all that stuff for this, he's working on a base file. Like right now, the reason why we do 02 rebuilds is because the base rosters are from 2002. He's actually working on making ones from 05 and I think one in like 010. So like I would be able to use various starting points, various teams, and rebuilding, like doing historic rebuilds that way. So it really is kind of limitless for the time being. We need to kind of have the limitation that we have to do an 02 team. So we've done the Falcons, we've done the Colts, and we have done the Houston Texans, who are the expansive team. So who do you guys want to see next week in these rebuilds? I will say that, oh my God, I'm so frustrated and very close to be able to bring back my NCAA rebuilds. Shout out to Parent Crow. He started doing them this year. And those are pretty dope, but I really want to play some NCAA and get those done too. So hopefully those rebuilds will be back. And this weekend we have the final episode of the realistic rebuilds for Madden 19 in the Jacksonville Jaguars. But yes, guys, hope you guys do enjoy the series. Let me know what team you want to see next week in the comment section below. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4, who's still kind of sick, saying peace out.
Money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit, well you talking the talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game, like who are you stopping? Not me, not never.